In the chilling Caisson's Ho installment, explorers plunge 7-foot caissons deep into the earth to find the elusive Chapel Vault, a whispered legend that haunts the Money Pit area. The team then heads towards the eerie North Swamp, where they unearth wooden fragments and a shaped piece of timber. The team is left to wonder what the relic means and whether it could be a diamond or a remnant of the fabled Oak Island treasure. A new chapter unfolds at the Wash Plant area, a stone's throw from Smith's Cove and the Money Pit, where a modern beast of a machine roars to life. This upgraded wash plant promises to sift through the spoils of multiple caissons with ruthless efficiency, promising to reveal the secrets buried beneath Oak Island. In the lab, a clash of minds ignites as the team huddles with blacksmith Carmen Lega over an iron spike pried from beneath a rock on Lot 1. Lega claims it is an ancient handcrafted pin, possibly from before 1760. Emma Culligan, through her XRF analysis, reveals that the iron was tainted with manganese, suggesting a birth in the mid to late 17th centuries. Lega counters with a date etched in the early 1720s to 40s. The Money Pit pulses with ceremony as the team christens their first caisson, the True Believer. Rick Lagina delivers a soliloquy dripping with sentiment, calling to the past and daring to the future. Metal detectorist Gary Drayton pressed the fateful button, and the caisson sinks. The True Believer descended into the abyss where the Chapel Vault might lie in wait. A game changer, as it suggests that there was more going on at Oak Island long before treasure hunters first began their search. Gary Drayton and her excavation team are focusing on the Money Pit area on Oak Island, where treasure hunters have been searching for over 2 centuries. Their main goal is to locate the Chapel Vault, a 7-foot-high, concrete-like container discovered over 150 feet underground by Frederick Blair and William Chappell. Despite numerous attempts, no one has managed to find the actual treasure. Recent tests and data suggest that the team might finally be close to revealing the island's biggest secret. Katya and her team began an ambitious project called TB1, a 7-foot-wide steel caisson drilled into the ground to find the Chapel Vault. The team chose this location due to high levels of gold and silver particles in the water, old wooden tunnels, and a piece of wood marked with Roman numerals. They hope to drill all the way down to 150 feet, aiming to reach the same level where the Chapel Vault was originally found. The team noticed that the caisson was going down smoothly, which raised 2 possibilities. The soil was soft, or they had entered an underground cavity. At around 95 feet, they believed they had passed through something hollow or weak. They found pieces of timber, short, cut wooden beams, and hand-cut, short, and waterlogged wood. These were the first physical signs of human construction at this depth in decades. At around 100 to 110 feet, the material coming up from the shaft continued to show signs of wood, suggesting they had hit the top or side of an old tunnel. A surprising discovery was a piece of wood with markings, including Roman numerals and dowel joints, which were the same type of construction used in the U-shaped structure found near the Money Pit. Katya and her team knew that these materials were not just luck, but they were built deep underground with serious tools, time, and planning. They reached 117 feet, and everything was pointing in the right direction, confirming their findings about the Chapel Vault. The team was working on an excavation project on Oak Island when they encountered a subsurface failure. As the caisson neared 160 feet, they noticed changes in the ground beneath the caisson, which seemed to indicate a collapse underground. The soil around the TB1 shaft began to fall away, and a deep sink formed, indicating that the excavation had triggered a collapse. The team realized that the site was not safe and had to act quickly. The biggest concern was the oscillator, the heavy machine responsible for driving the steel caisson down into the ground. If the soil beneath the oscillator disappeared, it could have ruined the dig, destroyed equipment, or injured crew members. The sink around the shaft grew, and it became clear that the structure of the site had been weakened. The ground around the caisson had sunk by about 30 feet in some spots, raising alarms. To prevent further collapse and protect the machinery, the team had to adjust by backfilling the area and monitoring the situation carefully. This setback was costly and frustrating, as every day spent dealing with collapse and backfilling was a day not spent digging toward their goal. The timing made it harder, but the team remained determined to continue the dig. Despite the setback, the discoveries so far have revived some of the biggest theories about Oak Island. Some believe the team is close in on a centuries-old treasure tied to European explorers or hidden fortunes from lost empires, while others link the site to the Knights Templar or secret religious relics brought across the ocean. With each new layer uncovered, the clues suggest Oak Island's secrets might be older, deeper, and more complex than anyone imagined.
From the revelation of concealed pirate wealth suggested by the discovery of a Spanish copper coin from the 17th century to the discovery of gold traces nearly 9 seasons later, the following are the most shocking moments from Oak Island Brothers. First, the Moretti copper coin in the Season 1 finale titled, "Find Metal Detection Expert." During his exploration of the swamp on Oak Island, Steve Zellick fortuitously encountered a coin bearing the inscription 8. Upon closer inspection, this ostensibly inconsequential find became highly consequential in the Season 2 premiere entitled Once and Forever. Upon closer inspection, it was disclosed that the coin in question was a Spanish 8 Morav 8s copper coin, which probably originated in the 17th century. To add to the intrigue, the discovery of the year 1652 engraved on its reverse further solidified the discovery. Subsequently, we shall examine a coin and a military button from the 17th century featured in Episode 2 of The Curse of Oak Island, entitled Return to the Money Pit. In this episode, treasure hunter Gary Drayton not only made 2 noteworthy discoveries, but also struck gold. His initial find while metal detecting near the shoreline was particularly intriguing. Drayton et al. Unearthed a button from a military officer's uniform from the 17th century. However, they were unable to definitively determine which military the button belonged to. This finding added an additional dimension of intrigue to the Oak Island mystery, implying a possible historical association with a military presence on the island. It prompted us to speculate whether the military was involved in the concealed secrets beneath the surface, although the revelations did not extend that far. Drayton and his team proceeded to a nearby wooded area where they made their second discovery of the day, a small coin which bears resemblance to the Morava discovered in the previous season's finale during the 17th century. However, there was a twist. It was noticeably smaller, possibly signifying 2 Maves rather than the larger 8. Oh, they are different, aren't they? They almost appear to be a Templar cross. These coins may have been small, but their significance was enormous, they hinted. One of the coins found strewn across the shoreline bore the inscription 1771, which unequivocally established its age. Immediately, the inquiry that captivated all was as follows. Where on earth did these coins from the 17th century originate? Were they accidentally dropped during the pursuit of the fabled buried treasure, or could they represent something more peculiar? As we continue, let us discuss the Knights Templar coin from Season 2, Episode 5, entitled The 90th Stone, which stands out as one of those moments that left a lasting impression. A few episodes earlier, Gary Drayton and his team discovered an object that was not at all ordinary. Treasure hunter and diver Tony Sampson noticed an extraordinary cross design on one side of the coin. This cross had the distinct appearance of a Knights Templar cross. Before we continue, let's discuss why this is so perplexing. The Knights Templar were a powerful and secretive medieval order renowned for their what initially seemed like a small Spanish Morav coin turned out to be a potential link to a vast Knights Templar fortune that could be hidden somewhere on Oak Island. The idea that this island could hold the key to a legendary Templar treasure drove fans and treasure hunters alike captivated. Now let's shift our attention to the grape shot ammunition and horseshoe in Season 5, Episode 8 titled Dan's Breakthrough. It was one of those moments that added more pieces to the puzzle and kept viewers captivated. So, the Lagina brothers and Gary Drayton, never ones to give up, decided to return to Lot 16 near the area where they had previously found 2 English coins in an earlier Season 5 episode, Obstruction. They were on a mission to continue their treasure hunt, and boy did they make some fascinating discoveries. First, they came across a small horseshoe fragment, suggesting it might have been made for a mule or a pony. This was a clue that hinted at the possibility of some kind of activity involving animals in the past on Oak Island. But then things took a more dramatic turn. The trio stumbled upon a piece of ammunition known as grape shot. Grape shot was essentially a cluster of small, round iron balls fired from ship cannons. The fact that they found this on the island was incredibly intriguing. It hinted at a historical connection to maritime activity, possibly even battles or hidden caches of valuables. And the surprises didn't end there. They also discovered another small coin, likely from the 17th century, which was consistent with previous coin findings on the